This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. And today's stream is brought to you by BetUS, where you can receive 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two deposits up to $2,000. So y'all definitely make sure y'all give BetUS a chance, especially bet on yourself and bet on your knowledge. So the question is it lies, truth, both, or neither? Because I've been paying attention and I've been seeing some patterns. Some of this I had to catch up to. Some of this I was warned about, specifically by Coach Marv. On some of this, he's absolutely right. So I've been watching both of the coaches, offensive coordinator Mike McCarthy and play call. I've been also watching Zimmer. Okay. And as I've been watching those guys, I've been seeing some truth. I also been seeing some wee-woo.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee-woo, wee-woo.
It took a while to catch up, but
you want answers?
I'm finna tell you. But I'm gonna tell you first, some of this is good. This is not all bad. Some of this is very good. So, kind of getting into it, we got to figure out who telling the truth.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
We got to figure that out. So when I listen to Zimmer, let's start with Zimmer because this is the good news to me. If I start with Zimmer.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
So first, Zimmer had some issues, right? We saw some bad play on his defensive tackles, okay? It was real clear, especially when you looked at Phillips, that we had some issues. But what's funny is we didn't see as many issues with Phillips as we even saw with the other guys. I'm gonna talk about that. Now, that particular clip can't come from John Owen. So after we saw some of his DTs getting pushed, he has some things to say about it. This is one. Check it out.
So based on what you're saying, the time you spent around this team and watching them practice and their approach, yesterday was an aberration from what you had seen up to this point?
I would say so.
Yeah. He said it was an aberration. So the lie detector test is go check you on that and see if you're telling the truth. He also said this.
John Machado with the Athletic, the defensive tackle position really hasn't been a big strength around here for a while. What gives you the confidence that you do have the right guys to get the job done?
Yeah, it will be. I mean,
that you do have the right guys to get the job done.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, I've done this for 28 years in this league. I've seen a lot of defensive tackles. As long as they continue to do what we're asking them to do, they'll have success. They may not be the greatest pass rushers, but we've got other people to do that. But it's like the game last night. We didn't allow us to rush the passer because they didn't give us opportunities because we didn't get the run stop. So I just obviously have to make a better effort of it. I got to get more detailed in the things that I'm telling them. I got to make sure that we're working those specific details every single day, which we will.
And so, is he telling the truth? Right? He said we was gonna get better. He said as long as they keep working the stuff we saying they go work, they go get better. So, my question is, can you trust Zimmer? I'm gonna be honest. For the most part, you can, because Zimmer from day one has been very transparent on his lack of confidence in the original group of DTs that was originally here, he did not trust them, and he was making that known from literally day one. Okay, so I talk about it all the time, you know, where he did an interview and he basically said, "No, we need more size." He was honest out the gate, and this was after the draft. Then Clarence Hill asked him, he said, "Is scheme enough?" He was like, "I hope so." He was honest. He didn't say, "Yeah." He said, "No, I hope so. I can't determine it if it is." He was honest. And then he just made a big, what he said was real. He said it was an aberration. What happened to those DTs? And he said they was going to improve if they did what he said. Was he telling the truth? Let's look at it. So if you look at the Rams game, the DTs, they only had a few bad plays, but when it was bad, right? Especially on doubles. You just saw those guys getting pushed, and whenever they was pushed, it didn't happen a lot. We paid for it. And a couple of times we was pushed.
Another one.
It resulted in very big plays.
He needs some milk. Boom. Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Real
Another
bad.
one. The last one is better. He needs some milk.
I'm talking about.
Oh, hell no.
Ball like I won a championship game.
So Zimmer said they gonna be better. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Let me go to it again.
You have the right guys to get the job done.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, you know, I've done this for 28 years in this league.
He said it's gonna be better. I've done this 28 years, man. I know what I'm doing. So, did it get better? So when I go look at that them versus the Giants, oh my God, wasn't it better? Ooh, and I ain't talking about just Mozzie. I'm talking about Mozzie and Linville, you know. And what you seeing is not just push. You was seeing them shedding blocks. And I was saying that from the first film that I watched on New Orleans. Look at that. Ooh, it's not about just making a play. It's about disrupting the play. Ooh. Ooh, man, it's hard to run the ball. Ooh, when your one tech is able to push them back 2 yards. See, neutral is good. But when you're able to push them in the backfield, it's better. Look at Linville. Ooh, get out my pocket. Yeah. So, my question is as I'm just watching these DTs clock it up, make it hard to run. The Giants allowed the least amount, no, the Cowboys allowed the least amount of yards in the league versus the Giants. Is that better? Is that it's just the Giants? Oh, no. We talking about out of all the teams. And it's because who? It looked like it's because Zimmer was telling the truth. So as I'm looking into this and I'm trying to figure out who can I trust when they tell me something, it looked like I can trust when Zimmer said. Because when Zimmer said, what it's saying to me is, if he says good, it's good. If he says it's going to get better, it's going to get better. If he say it's not there yet, it's not there yet. The lie detector has tested Zimmer and has determined.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
So, what does that mean? Even with the absence of Michael Parsons and Tank, we look like, just keeping it real, because I've been watching every run play every week, and I break each one down every week. My full focus has been on stopping the run on my analysis. And from the film, I can easily say we are getting better. Now, is it going to be a hard road without Tank? Yes. Is it going to be a hard road without Micah? Yes. But do we have a coach that look like he's getting these guys to do it right? Yes.
You want answers?
But then it's, be real with you. But then it's Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. Before I go to Mike McCarthy, let me finish off my thoughts on Zimmer and say something that's important. We also got to keep our eyes on the politics at all times. Because let me ask you a question. What's the difference between this right, where you seeing our DTs losing the ball,
Another one.
getting pushed, right? But especially Mozzie in these clips. Let me get to. Let me go to Mozzie. Look at
He
this.
needs some milk.
See, what's the difference between, what's the difference? Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between that and this? What's the difference? Huh? What's the difference? What's the difference? You want me to tell you the difference? One guy was allowed to be coached up from his bad game or from his injury. He was allowed to get better and showed up better. The other guy is on IR. A guy that you brought into camp late. So we got to watch these sons, which are the drafted guys versus bastards. We got to watch that stuff, because to me, it shows up in different ways. Could it be that Jordan Phillips is never was really hurt? Sure. But I still believe he deserved a chance to get coached up, just like Mozzie did, just like Linville did. I think he deserved his chance. And I think it could have made us better. So as I'm going through this, I'm also say, let's judge all of these guys the same. I don't want to see the mob come out on Phillips when he getting pushed, but then we quiet as church mouse as Mozzie was getting pushed. But the difference is we allowed Mozzie to redeem himself. That's a big difference. So, yes, Zimmer is telling the truth. The lie detector has spoken.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
That his DTs was going to get better. He said it was an aberration. It looked like that could be the case. We go keep our eyes on this going forward. But it looked like he was telling the truth. But we also got to keep our eyes on other ways Stephen Jones and them can put their meddling hands in some of these personnel affairs. So now let's talk about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. See, this is the deal. Obviously, I was on a campaign to get rid of Kellen Moore. I was on a very strong campaign. I was right. It was in the best interest of the Cowboys. It was better, even with Mike McCarthy, to move on from Kellen. Facts. But were we sold a bag of goods? Because see, I remember when Mike McCarthy was beating his chest when we got rid of Kellen Moore. He named him. Kellen Moore wants to light the scoreboard up. I want to run the damn ball. See, when you was trying to get rid of Kellen, you was pointing at Kellen as the problem, as the person that wasn't sticking to your alleged philosophy as the head coach to stick with a winning formula. So this is back from September 27, 2022. I want y'all to listen and tell me, who is this?
Like a running game, the mix between Tony and Zeke, 13 carries for Zeke, Tony, and 15 for Zeke. Is that kind of what you want?
Well, I think it's a winning formula. I think it's, really stems off what, what we just talked about. It's, you got two guys that are feature players. They need to touch the ball. Whether we throw it to them, pitch it to them, hand it to them, it makes no difference to me personally. But
looked like you was pretty committed when you was trying to get rid of Kellen.
It's off to a good start.
When DeMarcus Lawrence went down last year, you kind of accelerated the plans you had for Micah Parsons out of necessity a little bit. I know you stretched the running game all offseason, but when Dak went out, is this kind of a point just to say, hey, we've been working on this, but we've got to get this going right now in the run game with Dak out?
Well, we talked about this at training camp. You guys are at training camp, so we needed to run the ball better, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plate. So better, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plate, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plate. So we needed to run the ball better, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plate. So we needed to run the ball better, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plate. So and I think with the training camp structure, you only have so many opportunities with the padded practices. So it's just, we need to stay committed to it. I think we've definitely done that the last 2 weeks. I thought Kellen called an excellent game last night, and Tony and Zeke are feature players for us. So I don't see us changing.
Oh, you don't see us changing, huh? Look like you done changed. See, this Mike McCarthy made me ask a question.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
All this pain you said I'd never feel your lie to me.
Because see, I was keeping up with this every day. I remember you, Mike McCarthy, was saying the magic number is 30 attempts. Notice he said we need to run the ball better, but more importantly, the attempts. He put attempts over running the ball successfully. Yes, he said that. Yes. Listen.
At the plate. So, and I think with the training camp structure,
right now in the run game with Dak out.
Well, we talked about this at training camp. You guys are at training camp, so we needed to run the ball better, and more importantly, we need to get more attempts at the plates.
Whoa, we need to run the ball better, but what's even more important than running the ball better is sticking to your attempts. That's what you said. Huh? That's what he said.
You lied to me.
But you did. You lied to me.
You said the attempts. Well, if I look at you, Mike McCarthy, game 1, you had 25 rushing attempts and 32 passing attempts. You have not yet reached your attempts. What you said is more important. You said 30 is your magic number. Even when we clearly had the game under control with the Browns, where was your rushing attempts? Where? Game 2. 21 rushing attempts to 42 passing attempts. Now, that's versus the Saints. I can have your back some and say we was being blown out, so that could have took away the run attempts. I'm going to give you a pass on that. Game 3. You had 16 rushing attempts with 51 passing attempts. Where's that Mike McCarthy that was lecturing Kellen Moore? Where is he? Because we're going to need that guy. We need that guy that was committed to the rushing attempts. We need that guy. Because that's going to be the key to get us through this injury bug. You have to have a commitment to the rushing attempts, especially if you're going to rest that depleted D. The D is very depleted. You got Phillips out. You got Micah out. You got Sam Williams out. You got Tank out. I said Phillips. Bland out. That D needs to be protected. And one of the best ways to protect your D is to control the tempo and the clock through staying committed to your rushing attempts. That's what you said. And even on game 4, he didn't, if you go look at his attempts, he didn't really start running the ball until the 4th quarter. He was way out of whack for the whole game, passing attempts to rushing attempts, and he started catching up at the end when we was in control. So when I ask this question, I mean this question, and I really do mean this question. Is it lies, truth, both, or neither? Who's telling the truth? Because Mike, you stuck your whole chest out on Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore wants to light the scoreboard up. I'm different. I want to run the ball. I'm different. I want to run the ball. Well, the question is, let's keep it all the way real.
You lied to me, but you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel.
You said I wasn't going to feel that Kellen Moore pain. That's what you said. You said when you, the play caller, I wasn't going to have that feeling of, man, close the game out. That's what you said. But it looked like
all this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me.
Looked like you lied to me.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And I think Cowboy Nation need to put that pressure on you. See, some of y'all thought Mike McCarthy was my favorite. I ain't got no favorites. A lot of people thought I favored Mike over Kellen. No, I favor Smart. And when you was preaching a doctrine of committing to the run game, and when you was making Kellen Moore commit to a quota of rush attempts, we was winning games. Even with Cooper Rush. So no, this ain't about being loyal to Mike McCarthy. This is about being loyal to the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to just say this honestly. I cannot have his back if he is looking in terms of his pass attempts like he's Kellen McCarthy. Yes. Because do you know what it looked like? I'm going to show you what it's starting to look like.
A lot of great questions today, but this is my favorite. So we get to talk a little ball here. But no, I've never been a big option route thrower or concept in the past.
You know what it's looking like? It looked like you wanted Kellen Moore out of here because you wasn't a fan of the option routes. And so listen, I ain't mad at you lying to get him out. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Sometimes lying is not bad. Sometimes lying is good. I'm going to just be honest with you. Sometimes lying is good. I ain't going to never forget. My dad was trying to teach me a lesson about the gray areas of life, right? We was sitting around a dinner table and we was having a discussion. And he said, "Is lying bad?" It was like, "Yes, Dad. Yes. Lying is bad. It's a sin. It's bad." I ain't gonna never forget this. He said, "Yeah, it's bad." He said, "Okay." He said, "Now, imagine if you was a German boy and you received a letter. And this letter said to execute some of the Jews. Put them in a oven. But the only way that would happen is if you deliver it to the general. So you read the letter and you see it's an order to kill innocent people. And then the general comes up to you and say, "Did you receive a letter? I'm looking for a letter." And you say, "No." Was you wrong? Was you wrong? It's a little bit of gray in this too. This is the gray. I'm glad you got rid of Kellen Moore with those option routes. I'm glad you did what you had to do to get him out. Because see, let's not get it twisted. Mike McCarthy had to clearly appear right because front office clearly favored Kellen Moore over him. So it was the fact that he stuck with the commitment to the run game, which made him look wise because it was him pushing the doctrine of committing to the run game, which allowed us to go 4-1 with Cooper Rush, which you can even argue saved the season. So when Jerry and Steven had to choose the asset at the end, he won. He won, but it looked like he won based on a lie.
You lied to me, but you did, You lied to me.
So, Mike McCarthy, I need you to, this is what I want to see. I want to see you actually do what you was preaching. I want to see you not worrying about lighting the scoreboard up. I want to see you run the damn ball, especially during this period. I'm cool with your Texas Coast when it's rolling. I ain't got no problem with it. I believe you can win a Super Bowl with it. Some people don't believe it. Some people believe the only way you can win a Super Bowl is that if you commit to running the ball. It's the only way they think you can do it. Even though Mike McCarthy did it before. Even though he did it for his way. And with a lot of energy. I mean, injuries. Yeah. It's more than one way to win a Super Bowl other than just running the ball and committing to the run. If your Texas coach is rolling, I ain't got no problem with it. But I want to see the wisdom in it. I want to see you committing to the run, at least during this period, because we need to count on you to get us through this injury crisis we in. And your high-paced offense. Oh, because I heard, I had this debate last night. Oh, we need to score fast. Nah. We need to protect the defense. We need to go right back to the days of what we was doing before that offense took off in 2023, where we was #1 in 10-play drives. We need that offense. We need that one. Except we need to finish the drives better. That's the key difference. Because a lot of people go tell you, oh, the only way to do it is you got to be high-pace offense. Nah, I think you need to protect that D. Yeah, the same way we protected our D in 2016 when we won 11 games straight with the 31st ranked pass rush. The exact same thing we did in 2014. We relied on the running game. And a lot of people say, boss, how you gonna do that? How y'all gonna do that? We don't have the same running backs. No, lean on your committee. You got to lean on your committee. Except you need a bigger committee. You got to get Deuce, sit Deuce down, put him on the practice squad, bring up Cook, and go with your bigger backs. Zeke, Cook, Rico. Roll with that. Commit to the run. Commit to your attempts. No more lies. No more lies.
The lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
It's Boss Cowboy Sports. And again, this stream is brought to you by BetUS, where you can receive 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. It's your boy Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Y'all stay up. Peace.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.